Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to This Week in Bitcoin. Today is April the 13th, 2018. Strong hand, long-term thinking. It's Friday the 13th. I don't believe in good luck and bad luck type of stuff. I've got guests on from all over the world, though, today. I'm the only American here. Wow. Well, we got Canadian, England. We got India in the house. Balaji from India. We got Nabi from England. And we got Rodolfo coming in from Canada. And you guys, you've seen these guys before. Actually, Nabi hasn't been on before. He's got an awesome Twitter. It's all linked to below. All right, so let's start it off. A lot of you people out there are really obsessed with the price of Bitcoin in terms of US dollars. And there's some people out there celebrating because of the last 2 days that maybe the bear market is over. Maybe it's ended. So, Rodolfo, is this the end of the bear market? Or is just some irrational exuberance on the part of people who are just tired of seeing the price go down in dollars?
Well, I think that people finally finished paying up their taxes in the U.S. So that makes a huge difference. Although most people that are paying taxes are probably just dumping their big cash to pay their taxes. And then, it was kind of funny the time that the rally happened yesterday, right? It was about 5 or 6 a.m. EST. Warren Buffett wakes up early, I heard.
This is great stuff, man. I forgot to put in the description, who will Rodolfo rip on today? I was going to do that, but then I ran out of time. I'm in a rush. So, okay, speaking about the time that it happened yesterday, then today, around the same time, we have this surge. Are there Europeans just wildly buying this stuff up? Rodolfo,
it's not impossible. The jumps in pretty. It was a pretty big buy. It leads me to believe that somebody in New York was starting to get their feet wet.
Yeah, perhaps. I'll say this: people are excited again. And man, that's always fun to see the people happy. Okay, so over there speaking of Europe, Nabi, what do you think? Is this the end of the bear market? What's going on?
In my opinion, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another whack down on the Bitcoin price. I don't think it'll be a long-term thing. I think it will soon shoot back up again. But India, China, there's a strong possibility some more, China could ban it again for 169th time or whatever. But if you notice the past couple of days, I think the altcoins, they were the ones to take the lead first, weren't they? They shot up first. Bitcoin kind of stayed at quite a similar kind of level for a while. And then that picked up the pace. And that went from, 6,800 to 8,000 in an hour.
Yep.
That's just, that is, the beast woken up, isn't it? The beast woke up.
Yeah, I thought it was a bunch of Europeans waking up. I don't know what was going on there.
I think it was about 11 o'clock my time. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. I could be wrong.
Yeah, something like that.
But I actually saw it on Twitter first. I saw it and thought that can't be true. Straight on checking the price, and I just couldn't believe my eyes. You see the chart. You see those green candlesticks. It was just unbelievable. And it never came back down, did it? It went 8,000. What was it then? 700, something like that, and then back up 8,000. And look where we are today. Are we 8.2, somewhere like that?
Yeah. So, but
fantastic.
Is this just? I don't know. I'm not getting too excited. I want to go before you mentioned India, and we're going to get to Balaji in a second here. But Rodolfo, you mentioned U.S. taxpayers.
A lot of people took profit, during the peak, and once you take profit, you got to pay taxes.
Well, In the United States,
you know,
you do.
folks were not expecting for the price to fall so hard right after that peak. And they're going to have to, you know, they had to sell some extra to pay taxes. I know a few people who had to.
Yeah, but did they? If the price now after the 15th, the last day to pay your taxes, I think, is Monday or Tuesday in the United States. If the price really surges after that, that's going to mean that United citizens of America play an oversized role in all of this. Do you think that's really the case?
That's part of it. I mean, yeah. I mean, U.S. is a good chunk of the Bitcoin economy. You know, a lot of the buys in China were Americans just using Hong Kong banks.
Yeah.
You know, it's America does play a bigger role than people think it does. They just use different jurisdictions to do the buys. You know, taxes are not going to be more than 10-20% of the price, but those are enough to indicate or to signal to others that, you know, where the price is going to. But we'll see. It really depends on, you know, the incoming news. I used to believe that most of other countries had sort of, you know, a lot play in Bitcoin. I don't anymore, at least not for now. A lot of the game is being played in Western Europe and in America. We have a lot of Bitcoin in Canada, but it's also all done in USD. All of our CAD exchanges are pretty low liquidity.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. It will be very interesting to see what happens next week in Bitcoin once all American taxpayers are done paying their taxes, if it starts to surge. And then people say, oh, the world is, you're biased toward America. Not everything revolves around America. Well, you just said it. American citizens might play a much larger role than people think. We're going to see. Well, speaking about worldwide and speaking about nations with tremendous populations, India, Balaji, what do you think? Is this the end of the bear market? What's your perspective on this? The last 2 days, I guess.
Yeah, I think India faced a turbulent time last week. You know, when the Reserve Bank of India came out with its monetary policy, and they actually said that they are going to cut off infrastructure. That is, the entities regulated by the central bank will be cutting off the infrastructure to the crypto exchanges. So at that point in time, there was a lot of panic which ensued. The Bitcoin price in India collapsed to something like $4,500 equivalent in Indian rupees, when the international price of Bitcoin was about $6,800. But even before this happened, Adam, point to be noted is there was already a 90% drop in volumes in some of the major crypto exchanges when this bear market was happening, and people were just in a wait and watch mode, and they were not willing to pump in more capital at that point in time. Many of the banks, for example, Citibank came and said that you can't use my credit card and debit card for purchase. Some of the prominent Indian private sector banks came and said the same thing, that you can't use credit cards and debit cards to purchase. So this was happening. But now I think as we speak today, the price of Bitcoin in India is back to normal. The people who panic sold, I'm sorry for them, but today the price of Bitcoin in India is $8,100, same as the international price. So that's where we are. And I personally think that a bottom is typically when people stop talking about it, and people are just not interested in WhatsApp groups to hear about Bitcoin news or to read about Bitcoin articles. That's when typically bottom is formed, not only in this asset class but every other asset class. And it was true in the month of February and March. There was depressed interest. So I would like to believe that yes, this is the bottom as far as Bitcoin is concerned, from an India perspective as well.
All right, and again, you give us real on the news ground from India, which is great. People, India, all of us over here in the Western world, don't panic the next time you hear news about India. Okay, it's usually, we don't exactly get a clear picture from the mainstream news. Come to this channel and pound that like button and listen to people who are really in India. Well, Balaji, last time you were on the show, we actually talked about the exchanges in India, and how when one would add a new altcoin, it would actually send a surge in the price of that altcoin.
Yes.
This is a two-part question. Are there as many? Are Indians a little bit more hesitant now that we're in a bear market? Do you think that they're still, going to be the ones that are involved in cryptocurrency going to be buying hand over fist amounts of altcoins? And do you think that what we're experiencing now overall in the cryptocurrency market these last 2 days, that maybe all the altcoin madness is going to come back again, that we're going to see these altcoins just surge?
Adam, unit bias is definitely helping some of the altcoins out there. There's no two ways about it. Many people are yet to grasp the concept of market capitalization. So unit bias is definitely helping some of the altcoins. The last time when I was on your show, the Bitcoin dominance was about 32%. And as we speak today, the Bitcoin dominance is what? Somewhere around 43, 44, 45%. Yep. And it was exactly during this time that many crypto exchanges in India actually launched altcoins, right? So when I spoke to you the last time, that was the time Ripple made its debut in one of the exchanges. So now you have unlimited altcoin options, right? So you can buy even Digibyte with a Indian currency. You can buy Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, you name it, you can buy it. So you don't need to go through the Bitcoin route to actually pick up an altcoin. The point I'm trying to make is, despite that, the Bitcoin dominance has actually inched up, which goes to show that BTC continues to be the king. While alts will have its own market share, yes, that's fine, but it is going to be Bitcoin which is going to rule India so far, irrespective of unit bias and whatever. That's what it's going to be in India.
All right. Before we get back to Nabi here, I was just reminded of Rodolfo here, because he's no fan of altcoins. But do you think there's a chance here that we're at the beginning of maybe a resurgence in the blind buying of altcoins, in the people, in the unit bias madness that we previously saw? Because some of these altcoins have gone up a lot in the last couple of days. It seems like
Balaji hit the nail on the head. So I think what's happening is a lot of other countries now are starting to understand that just the unit bias is not sort of the best approach to investing. There's a lot of people who just believe to have missed the boat on Bitcoin because the price is so high, but they're starting to realize that a lot of these alts are money losers, right? Especially so late in the game. If you apply the Ponzi rule to a lot of these alts, there's money to be made. It's not my way of investing in these things, but now, because there's so many of them, and these people are not in on the penny stock level anymore for these alts. They're understanding that it's pointless. Might as well buy fractions of a Bitcoin and hodl, forever, right? It's a much more sound way of doing this. I think Bitcoin is kind of like the index fund of crypto. All the other alts, sink or swim around the Bitcoin price anyways. So might as well just buy Bitcoin, and it's the returns are pretty reasonable still. We can still go another 10x in the next couple of years, and the likelihood that it goes 10 divided by x in Bitcoin are pretty slim. So the least you're going to end up doing with Bitcoin, is maybe doubling your money. That's not a bad investment.
No, that's not. People have forgotten that, doubling your money, that's a really good investment. I mean, you put your money in a traditional savings account in the United States. What do you get? Like 0.01% return? I mean, it's ridiculous. But people, they want to take tremendous risk. It's human nature, I guess, of the 80%ers at least. They can't stand still. Nabi Clark, you got a lot to say, I'm sure, about altcoins and what Rodolfo just said. What are your thoughts here? Do you see a resurgence in altcoins, or any commentary on anything that's been said so far?
I think long term, you'll see most altcoins will disappear. That's way down the line. I think this year they will surge upwards. I think it will happen quite rapidly, and I think it will go in relation to percentage, will be more than Bitcoin. We're still in the stage where people think Bitcoin's too expensive. I see it all the time. People are come across. Have you heard about Ripple? Have you heard about? I just. Ripple. I don't even know what Ripple is. I don't even know the value of Ripple at the moment, but I don't know. What is it?
There is no value.
Cents? I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Bitcoin's 7,000, 8,000. Ripple's 60 cents or $1. I don't know what it is. If I can buy that, I'm going to, wait till that gets to $7,000. It's just pure madness. How they think something with, billions and billions of coins are suddenly going to reach, each coin's going to reach the same price as Bitcoin. People just don't have a clue. They're just blindly buying altcoins. But it happens all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Didn't Ripple lose $60 million or 60 something, maybe, I don't know, billions. I think it was $60 million in assets got lost.
Was that like the 2 days after it was at CNBC? Was it after they just told you how to?
They just what's the point of a blockchain if you're not going to even keep track of your assets?
But again,
it disgusts me.
Everyone here knows that Ripple is not the same as Bitcoin. Everyone on this panel knows that. But this is the thing. What I'm looking at, what my question is about here is, are we entering that kind of realm again where we're going to get the newbies coming in and they're just going to pump up coins like Ripple?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that what we're about to enter, or did everyone learn their lesson in December and it's not? Because I don't know. 2 days does not make a pattern here. Does not make a trend. But there are a lot of people out there that are very excited because they haven't had something to be excited about for a while in terms of, to see what has happened in the last 2 days. So that's what I'm trying to get at here. So Nabi, do you think it's going to get as crazy as December again? Or do you think this is just 2 random days here we just went through, some altcoin surge, nothing to worry about, nothing to talk about?
I think it's really going to kick off when Lightning's fully implemented. I think that's going to be a game changer. And I think that could probably wipe out quite a few altcoins. But people will still invest in altcoins because of the price. They haven't realized yet. They see the cheap price. Like today, you can look coin market cap, you can see Bitcoin up 6-7%, and you'll see some of the altcoins up 33%. You've got to pick one out of 1,000. It's pure gambling.
It is pure, and I think you're saying that they're going to die. There's some are going to die one day, some are going to get hurt by lightning. I see it as there's so many newbies yet to join this game that I don't. This decade, I think the altcoins, they'll have their ups and downs, but none of them are going to die because we have so many newbies still yet to join this. Because I've seen the behavior already by just the newbies that have joined in since 2017, and it'll repeat itself again, I think. But I'm just wondering if this is the start of a new surge. We'll see. We shall see. I do have a question from someone in the super chat. Check your 6. Thank you for the $2. Now, this question, I'm not exactly sure what he means. Maybe you guys can help me out on this. How far south are you seeing Bitcoin buying? How far south are you seeing Bitcoin buying? What does that mean? Does anyone know?
You're looking for the bottom?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, listen, we could still have a few months of bear market. But I don't think we're gonna see a lot of fluctuation down. It just might stay as is. It might drop again, that $1,000 we gained yesterday, but I think we're not gonna see much below that for the next few months. If anything, we'll probably see a rally, in 2-3 months. Well,
I'll say this. I think it could drop $1,000 tomorrow. I mean, it was random that it went up $1,000 yesterday. I just remind everyone, have a strong hand. Have a strong hand. Don't play around with this trading stuff, because you never know. You never know when it's randomly, because people say, "Oh, I'll just buy it back for cheaper late." You don't know if it's ever going to get that cheap again. But I will say this: the tax thing that Rodolfo brought up, I'm very interested to see what the price is going to be next week. If there's going to be another surge, and maybe then I'll start saying, well, maybe this bear market is over. I still think we're probably in a bear market. I want to see more about next week. Balaji, do you have any comments on what the question was? Any low predictions or anything like that?
In fact, I have a theory, uh, especially from an India point of view. They say that India is a country that disappoints both the pessimists and the optimists, right? So the central bank has given a 3-month window for the banks to cease operations with the crypto exchanges. I personally think that the crypto exchanges and banks will find a way out, and it will just continue. Having said that, those who really believe in cryptos and in Bitcoin, the moment they realize that, look, they have only another 3 months to go before they can actually buy crypto in a legitimate way, then they are going to FOMO into it. So if the price were to sort of keep moving up like this, you are going to see a lot of money coming in and people investing, which will further push up the price of Bitcoin even higher, right? So I just did a small dipstick poll on my Twitter, and the results were quite interesting, right? So after the RBI announced its decision, uh, I asked if people were going to buy more or hold or sell. Close to 87% voted that they would either buy or hold Bitcoin. So that's a staggering high amount of people who are still are positive on this space. So I'm currently in Mumbai. I can show you hundreds of dealers in Mumbai who can give you Bitcoin when you give them cash. Cash can be as low as few $1,000s to few $1,000,000. You give them in Indian rupees, they are going to give you Bitcoin in your wallet, and that is something which the government exactly wants to avoid. They want to reduce the cash transactions, and if you are actually going to cut off infrastructure to the crypto exchanges, you are contradicting yourself. On the one hand, the government says that you want to reduce cash transactions. On the other hand, if you cut off infrastructure to crypto exchanges, uh, the transactions are not going to be within the banking loop. So this cannot sustain forever. I'm sure the exchanges will find a way out. In fact, the moment the decision came out, there was a lot of anger and chaos, and RBI can't stop me was a hashtag that was trending on Twitter for 3 to 4 days. People were already devising ideas about how to go about it. They were looking at a particular state which is part of India, but the bank did not come under the RBI purview. They were thinking whether exchanges can actually move accounts there and operate from that state. So already, people are thinking about what next. So I am closely tracking the local Bitcoin volumes as far as India is concerned. It is still not shown a spike yet. Maybe it will after a few months, when if the decision to sort of cut off infrastructure persists. But I was given to understand that the crypto exchanges plan to go to the court uh, and fight their way out in a legal fashion. So this can't continue, right? So it's ridiculous. So as an Indian, I can go on a betting site and bet on an outcome of a cricket match. I can bet on the score of a cricket match, but I'm not able to buy Bitcoin. So this cannot continue for long, and I think if the 3-month window were to persist, I think a lot of Indians are going to FOMO buy into this. That's my view.
Well, you know what? We've got a special India question for you. That question that I asked before actually was supposed to pertain to India, apparently. The correct question is, how far south in rural India is Bitcoin being bought? Balaji.
Yeah, so I mean, I would urge the person who asked the question to go to localbitcoins.com, and you can see that even the most remotest part of India, there are deals that are happening as far as BTC is concerned. So there is a tremendous amount of interest in this space. In fact, there was a news article which I read about a couple of weeks back, which said that there was a particular organization which was bringing in mining into rural India. So it will be a form of employment for the rural Indians. So they want to bring about crypto mining. in a big way in rural India. So that's happening. I think just to give you some numbers, there are about 20 million depository accounts in India, right? So your demat accounts for stocks and bonds and mutual funds and everything. So this 20 million is after after 28 years of liberalization, after 28 years of the economy being opened up, we have a 20 million depository accounts. As far as crypto accounts are concerned, we already have 5 million, right? So and crypto is hardly 3 to 4 years old as far as India is concerned. So you already have a significant head start. And I maintain my view that, in fact, like how a lot of African countries skipped landline phones and went straight to mobiles. Similarly, a lot of Indians, especially the young Indians who are armed with smartphones and where the data costs are plummeting like anything, they are going to skip investing in gold and move straight towards Bitcoin. So that's my view.
That will be awesome if that happens, because there's a lot of people in India, a lot of young people. We're going to get back to India in a second. Rodolfo might have to leave early, so I want to ask him because everyone is interested in the products that he's working on up there. Tell us what's going on with all your products.
So, well, I mean, a lot of you already know OpenDime. This thing sort of flying off the shelf. A lot going to India, actually. We've been selling a ton there. It's a lot of fun. And now, regardless of the price, you still need to keep your crypto safe. So we're launching a new hardware wallet. It looks like a cool cypherpunk 80s calculator. But this thing is sort of like next level in security. We decided to kick the notch a little above what's offered in the market right now. This hardware wallet has an SD card for backup. It has multiple pin setups, distress pin setups, brick pin setups. It's going to be fully open source, so you can code in your altcoin in it. So we don't have to. So that's it. This thing is for pre-sale. We're almost running out of the first batch. So if you want to get it, it's at go to opendime.com/store. We don't have a site for code card yet, but you can pre-order there the last few units, and it should be launching in end of Q2.
That is a cool looking storage device. And how much does it retail for? How much does it cost?
I think the early bird price now is $59. So
whoa! Yeah. Now, okay. So, what can you store on it? We're going to
start with Bitcoin only. Maybe Litecoin as well when we launch. But then we're going to keep on adding coins, right? The key to this is it's ultra security, right? This device supports code only mode, so essentially, you never have to touch this thing. You never touches a computer if you don't want to, not even via USB. You can just use the SD card on it to transport the transactions if you want to really keep it cold. So yeah, pretty excited about this.
Yeah, man, that's like a quarter of the price of a Trezor or a Ledger. I mean, that's people complain about the prices of Trezor and Ledger. Well, if you complain about here's another option for you. Oh yeah.
Sorry, I think we pre-sold probably what they sold in the first few years of business.
Wow. I mean, these people do care about storage and safety, but they have been. Then they're like $200 is a lot. I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay $200. It's insurance, people. That's what it is. $200 to guard your coin, or $50, whatever. Get 4 of these things. And
you buy a tenth of a Bitcoin today. Now it's what, $600, but then you go sell your you wait another couple of years, and that's all of a sudden 10,000, and then maybe it's 100,000. It's quite fascinating how your original backups are not necessarily up to par to the new price of Bitcoin. Remember, if you don't own the private key, you don't own the Bitcoin.
Yeah, everyone. Do remember that. Hey, you jumped on Bcash at the beginning of the show. Bcash is a lot like, well, it's a fork of Bitcoin. Will people ever be able to play around with your thing and put Bcash on that?
I mean, listen, I believe in a free market. I mean, people are free to do whatever they want with it. I don't recommend buying Bcash because it's bad investment, and it's also it is an attack on Bitcoin. However, people have been putting Bcash on open dimes. People have been using our products. Feel free to use it. It's yours once we give it to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm not telling people to buy Bcash, but a lot of people got Bcash for free, so they want to.
Exactly.
They want to stick. They want to keep it around in a safe place until they can, until it surges again.
Bcash is great for paying taxes, for buying things. So, essentially, instead of making a dent in your hodling stash, you just dump your Bcash to buy things, and then once you don't have Bcash anymore, well,
Yeah. Everyone, hold up that product one last time, because it is really cool looking. It is. That's awesome.
Can you get those in the UK yet? Is that
you can pre-order from any country. We've sold a ton to the UK. So there you go. So the cool thing is the case is going to be clear like this, so that you can. There is a lot of anti-tamper features, and you can see if somebody attempted to do an evil-made attack on you. So you can check to make sure that it hasn't been tampered inside to fish your pins out.
I think you're onto something by making it look like something else, because a Trezor and a Ledger, they're just these. They're kind of boring looking, and this is funny, man. This gives it some spice and some.
Listen, we make products we want to use, right? I mean, we're doing this for fun, and as you can see with OpenDime as well, we make products with personality.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Nabi Clark. So I haven't been avoiding you, man. It's these guys got lots to say. Do you have any questions for these dudes? First of all, is there anything you meant to say, because I haven't gotten back to you in a second? That the floor is yours to say anything, actually.
Well, I will say one thing. As you know, Adam, I help with the support of Bitcoin Rhodium, which is an airdrop, obviously, of Bitcoin. I'm not here to shill the coin or anything like that, but I was just going to ask: is that something that we could store on that hardware wallet? Is that going to be? Would that be possible? That'd be my question.
If it's close enough to Bitcoin, it should be minor code changes for your team. You just
I'll put that.
The source is not available yet, because we prefer to do the coding in private, because it's faster and you don't have to deal with other people. But then as soon as we're ready to launch, we're going to put the code online and it's on GitHub, and you can fork it, and then you can actually install the code that you forked yourself on the device. And there is a way for you to re-verify the device, so that you can make the same guarantees that we make that the device is sound.
All right, Nabi, you bring up. Oh, I'm getting an echo from someone. Did someone do something different? All right, Nabi, not real quick. I was going to ask you about the Brhodium stuff. There are people out there that want to hear any new updates. When's the next? When's it going to be listed on an exchange? When's it going to be live? Because people did get it for free. A lot of people who watch this channel and some other Andy's channel, and so any news on that airdrop in terms of being listed on? And have you learned anything from some of the recent troubles that other crypto dividends have gotten? There's some that it's been very hard for them to get listed, and it's taken a while for CoinMarketCap to list. And take it away.
Well, at the moment, I think everybody on the Discord channel are. We're sending through emails over to CoinMarketCap to try and get on there. There's quite a few people on our Discord and Telegram group. They're hoping the developers. I'm not one of the developers. I purely help with support. So I help set up the wallet for people who are struggling, and back in January help people register, things like that. So I'd have to ask the developers for any new news, but I think they're still on target for. They said April. Okay, they said early April. I know we're getting to the middle of April now, but I don't feel rushing things is really a good idea. This is something which everybody got for free. So if you registered, you got it for free. There was no asking for any private information, no private keys, nothing like that. It was purely sign from your address to prove ownership. Enter that into the box with a unique BTR code. That's all it was, and then you've got your coins. You know, a few weeks later, you got your coins. There was nothing dodgy about it, but yet the word scam gets thrown around, which I absolutely despise for this project. It's it's a free, anyone who was proactive and was watching your show, Andy's show, they could have done it.
Well, I want to say one thing. You say you're part of the support team, and I think it is interesting that these crypto dividends, these altcoins, these whatever you want to call them, do have support teams now. You guys are going to still be out there. If there are people watching this, they can contact your support team. People ask me questions about it. I can't answer the questions. There's a support team dude right there.
I'm more of a customer services role. So, I mean, if you go on the Discord channel or Telegram group, feel free to go on there. I'll answer, or possibly one of the developers will answer. They're pretty active on Discord. But it's not trying to be Bitcoin, not trying to take over Bitcoin. It will never replace Bitcoin. It is just not, it's nothing like that. It's just, it's an airdrop. If you were proactive, you get your coins,
All right. Pound that like button, people. We're getting toward this end of the show because I've got to go to St. Louis, got to get on the plane. I want to say, check your six. He keeps on sending the super chat $2, and I thank him a lot. And he says, respect for the cool open source wallet. Yes, indeed. Much respect for the cool open source wallet. And just, we've got originals on this show, people. Remember, we're here every Friday with This Week in Bitcoin. I do a new show on this channel every single day. You get original news, original people. Hey, man, keep on pounding the like button. Keep on coming back. I love it. I'm traveling all over the world trying to meet the peoples for you to bring them on here. All right, so we're gonna wrap this baby up. I think we've covered everything here. So now we're going to get to everybody's conclusionary thoughts. So we'll start with Balaji in India. What do you have to say? Anything that's been left out? Any story that you want to share that you think the world's got to know? Because, man, this has been an international show today. It's been wonderful.
So I think as far as news is concerned, we have hit the bottom as far as crypto news in India, because it can't get any worse than this, where the central bank cuts off infrastructure to the crypto exchanges. So from here on, it can only be positive. I think people also realize that Bitcoin is extremely resilient, and these kinds of news flow and FUD does not really impact the price over the long term, although the short term it can be extremely volatile. So I think we are seeing a very good risk-on culture in India. There's tremendous amount of flows into equities and mutual funds, close to more than $1 billion, which keeps coming into the Indian mutual fund industry. The exchanges are promoting buying cryptos in a very sort of staggered manner. There are gift cards being issued. There are exchanges that are helping integrate businesses with Bitcoin. So I think from here on,
Whoa. Oh, Balaji. What happened? Oh. Guys, do you hear Balaji, or am I gone?
No.
Oh, no. Balaji was good. He was hitting his conclusionary remark. Wait, Balaji, we just missed like the last minute of what you had to say.
Sorry, when did you lose me? Sorry.
It was like 30 seconds ago.
Yeah, so I was saying that we bottomed as far as news flow is concerned, and the exchanges here are actually helping integrate a lot of businesses to accept payments in Bitcoin. So there are quite a few businesses that are doing that. Hello?
Awesome. Well, I thank you for giving us the real life India flow, what's really going on over there, and I'm excited. I like to hear the news from the source, and I hope it keeps growing. I hope the youth of India just they forget about gold, jump right into the Bitcoin. it'll help this world, and it'll help free the people of India from their interfering government that tries to get their fingers into oh my God, it never ends over there. All right. Nabi, this was your debut. Thank you so much for coming on today, man, and giving us some of that English knowledge. What's anything you want to add? Any stories? Anything you want us to keep our eyes on, or anything like that?
I just think we could see more downward movement on the Bitcoin price over the next couple of months. But I think this summer we're going to see something quite spectacular. I think the price is just going to. I think what we're doing at the moment is building a base. I believe the last bull run I'd say started around $800, peaked at 19.6. I think this time we're looking at building a base around the $6,000-7,000 range. I think we're going to see it blast through the all-time high. What I think is going to get choppy in the teens, and then people will be panicking that it's getting near the all-time high again. And once it crosses that all-time high, I think there's no stopping it. And that's what I think is going to happen between summer and Christmas. That's my
people out there love to hear numbers. I try not to mention numbers, but you did it, so people are happy now.
Yeah.
People are happy.
I'm not saying where it's going to go, but
no, people are going to say, "Oh, the British guy said 16,000 soon, baby." No,
no.
Hey,
well, I think we'll see that this year. But I mean, what did I see on Twitter earlier? Tim Draper 250. I mean, 2022. Let's head for that, shall we?
I want to ask you. You mentioned the summer. I was on Crush the Street the other day, and Kenneth asked me. He's like, a lot of people are saying that the summer, everything's going to change in the summer. Is there any specific reason you said summer? I mean, is there something I'm missing? Is something big about to happen this summer that I don't know about?
No, it's just not at all. I just feel that it's not necessarily because it's the summer. Yeah. I just think we're, as Balaji said, I just think we've kind of found the base here. I don't think it's going to go below 5.9. We may get back into the sixes again, but I think it'll be short-lived.
That's an Andy Hoffman thing too. He doesn't think it's going to go below 6,000 because the total market cap is it's a big round number. What's it, 100? Well, whatever. Rodolfo, is there anything magical happening this summer besides you and I speaking in Calgary that is going to affect the Bitcoin? Because people are like, the Bitcoin, and it'll be great. It'll be great to meet you then.
A few things happen. We have the how long mining coming in. That now there's more mining equipment available, so there's more action happening in Bitcoin. Weren't the SEC looking at the ETF quietly again or something like that?
Oh yeah, it's this constantly seeping out there.
It's teasing. But listen, the Wall Street bonuses probably coming in now. The checks. I'd be surprised if a lot of traders not putting their checks in crypto. That's gonna happen this year because they're all tired of seeing all this upside slip their fingers. Hodlers are not gonna sell. I don't know. I've been calling for a 40K before the end of the year since last year.
Whoa, dude! There's another number. The Canadians said 40K, so they'll be talking about that.
Listen, if it goes there, if it doesn't go there, I don't really care.
I've got that same attitude, man. I got that. One Bitcoin's one Bitcoin, man.
There's a lot of things maturing. I think we're going to see Lightning putting in a lot of transactions through before the end of the year. They're fixing up a few little issues, but the system is surprisingly robust. There's a bunch of stuff happening. What's nice about bear markets is that people get shit done instead of answering emails. And there's a lot of cool projects coming out.
Awesome. Well, I didn't ask you the question. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything that we skipped there? Anything else you want to promote or talk about?
No, I mean, listen, out of our shop, just, I think we have Open Dime again in stock. And, if you want to keep track of Code Card, either follow me on Twitter or follow @CodeCardWallet on Twitter. and you get updates, and as soon as the source is open, there's going to be a simulator, a bunch of cool stuff. But that's it.
Well, thank you for joining me today, and we'll both be in Calgary in July. That's a little sneak peek, everyone. I'm not going to get into the specifics about that yet. I'll have more soon about Adam in Alberta this summer. Anyway, thank you, guest, for being here today. It was a lovely show, and we wrapped it up real quick so I can get to St. Louis, get on my Southwest Air, and leave Baltimore. Yeah, I was only here for like less than 3 weeks, and I'm not going to be back maybe till Rosh Hashanah. I don't even know. But I'm pumped to go to California, Denver, everything, meet everybody around this world, because this whole world, I know you dudes are pumped about Bitcoin, and who knows what tomorrow will bring. Who knows what the summer will bring. Everyone, remember, pound that like button. Thanks a lot, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you. I'll push stop. Bye.